Assalamu alaikum. Good evening. Today we'll learn how to solve quadratic equation by using formula. If you remember, last time we solved quadratic equation by factoring, but factoring it is approach which depends mainly on guessing. If you remember, we were asking ourselves, oh, I'm looking for two numbers. When you multiply them, you will get this. When you add or subtract them, we'll get this. Sometimes you cannot even find those two numbers because the result will be fraction. So we need some approach which is more systematic. So we'll use quadratic formula. What is quadratic formula? It is a rule that usually used in order to solve any quadratic equation. Let me just remind you that quadratic equation, the general form of any quadratic equation is a x squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. So before I start doing anything, I have to make sure that the right hand side equals to 0. Nothing at the right hand side. Then after that, I start identifying what is the value of A, what is the value of B, and what is the value of C. And please pay attention for the sign of B and the sign of C. For example, when I said 2x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals to 0. Then A equals to 2, B equals to minus 3, not 3, and C equals to minus 10, not 10. So please, the value of A, B, and C is of high importance in order to find out the solutions by using the formula. So what is the formula? The formula is x equals minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. This is the formula by which you can solve any quadratic equation. It depends on what? The value of b, the value of a, the value of c. This is very important. Please don't forget that before you start identifying A, B, and C, ask yourself, is it written in the general form or not? If it is written in the general form, then start identifying A, B, and C. Now, if you look at the general formula, you have so many calculations. Minus B, then you will add and subtract the radical sign, and the radical sign there is under the radical sign b squared, then 4ac, you have to subtract 4ac from b squared, and then you add 2 plus or minus b, then all divided by 2a. So as you see, there is so many calculations. There are so many calculations. In order to just make it more easier when solving or using the quadratic formula, I want to just divide the calculations into two parts or two phases. The first first part in calculations, the formula, I can call b squared minus 4ac delta. Okay, so I'm going to call delta equals b squared minus 4ac. So first I'm going to calculate delta. Then if you just call these terms b squared minus 4ac as delta, then the quadratic formula will be x equals minus b plus or minus square root of delta divided by 2a, which takes more steps, yes, but it will be more easier to control. And I think the possibilities to have mistakes will be less. So I recommend you to use this form of quadratic formula, x equals minus b plus or minus square root of delta over 2a, where delta equals b squared minus 4ac. Actually, delta is an important variable here in solving quadratic equation, because delta, as we will see later, it is the number or variable which determine how many solutions that you are going to have for this quadratic equation. Two solutions, one solution, or no solution. So again, first, the most important thing, you have to make sure that the right-hand side equal to 0. Start identifying A, B, and C. Then find delta. Then substitute at this quadratic equation. Finally, you will have the solution of the quadratic equation. Okay. Let me just take this question. If you are requested to solve the quadratic equation by using formula x squared minus 6x plus 8 equals to 0. Well, this is a quadratic equation. Is it written in the general form? Yes, it is written in the general form. Why? Because the right-hand side equals to 0. So start identify A, B, and C. Obviously, A equals 1, B equals minus 6, and C equals 8. Well, first, find delta. Delta, as we said, equals b squared minus 4a multiplied by c. Well, b, it is minus 6. So it will be minus 6 all square minus 4 multiplied by a 1. I'm going to write a and c. I'm going to use bracket. Multiply by 8. Now, how much is minus 6 all square? Don't forget that minus, the square is for the minus and for the number 6. So it will be 36 positive minus 4 times 1, 4 times 8, 32. Then delta equals to 36 minus 32, 4. This is delta. Now, x equals minus b plus or minus square root of delta divided by 2a. Now, minus 6 plus or minus square root of 4 all divided by 2 times 1. Now, minus 6, this is 6, plus or minus square root of 4, 2 divided by 2. Last step. Now we're going to substitute find out the value of x by applying first plus or minus. So x1 equals 6 plus 2 over 2. 6 plus 2, 8 divided by 2, 4. So this is the first solution. Or, don't forget to write or, x2 equals 2, 6 minus 2 over 2, which is 2, and this is the second solution. So as you see, x equals to 4 and x equals to 2. It's very simple, but you have to take care and pay attention for identifying A, B, and C. Find out delta. Now, just note that delta equals to 4, which is positive. How many solutions do we have? We have 2 solutions. Keep this in your mind. Now, delta equals to b squared minus 4ac. Well, as I said, the solution of quadratic equation may have 3 choices. Either 2 solutions, 1 solution, and no solutions. It depends mainly on the discriminator. This is called a discriminator, which is delta, which equals to b squared minus 4ac. Now, if delta is less than 0, delta is negative, then no solution. If delta equals to 0, then there is just one solution. If delta greater than 0, as in the previous example, delta is 4, then we have 2 solutions. Don't forget this. When delta is less than 0, no solutions. Delta equals to 0, one solution. Delta greater than 0, no, two solutions. Let's have another example. Now, x squared plus 2x plus 5 equals to 0. Is it written in the general form? Yes, it is written in the general form. So start identifying a, b, and c. Obviously, a equals 1, b equals 2, and c equals to 5. Step number 2, compute delta, the discriminator. A delta equals b squared minus 4ac. B equals to 2, so it will be 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times 5. 4 minus 20, it is minus 16. Delta is minus 16, less than 0. So less than 0, this means that no solution. When delta is less than 0, this is case number 1. So no solution. There is no solution, or we can write this is the solution set is 5, or the empty set. So in this solution, or in this example, we have s equals or delta less than 0, and there's no solution. Let's take this example. For x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals to 0. Now we'll identify a, b, and c. A equals to 4, b equals to minus 3, and c equals to 10. Minus 10, as you see. Delta equals b squared minus 4ac. We have to be careful about the minus sign. This is minus 3 all square minus 4 multiplied by a, 4, and c here it is minus 10. Okay, this is very important. See, it is minus 10. So it will be minus 3 squared. This is 9. Minus times minus plus. That's why we have plus 9 plus. So it will be 9 plus 4 times 4 times 10, which is 9 plus 160, which is 169. Note that it is 169. This means that I'm going to have two solutions. Keep this in your mind. Step number 3. If you multiply or substitute the value of x equals to minus 3 minus square root of 69, which will be minus 3 minus 13 over 8, which is minus 10 over 8, or minus 5 over 4, and x2 equals minus b plus square root of 8 over 2 times 4, which will be, I'm going to substitute or explain this here, it will be 3 here, this part, 3 plus 13 divided by 8, which is 16 over 8, then x2 equals to 2. So here I have two solutions, either x equal to minus 4 over 4, minus 5 over 4, or x equals to 2. Okay, let's go to this example. X squared plus 6x plus 9 equals to 0. Again, is it written in the general form? Yes, it is written in the general form. So start identifying a, b, and c. A equals 1, b equals 6, and c equals to 9. Now compute the discriminant. A equals b squared minus 4ac. 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 9. 6 squared it is 36. 4 times 1, 4 times 9, 36. So delta equals to 0. This is case number 2. When you have case number 2, delta equal to 0, then it is just one solution. One solution. How can I get one solution? Don't forget that x equals is the formula minus b plus or minus square root of delta divided by 2a. Now we said delta equals to 0, so square root of 0, it is 0, so it doesn't make sense to say plus 0 or minus 0, so x will be just minus b over 2a. That's why we wrote here x equals to minus b over 2a. So this is minus, then b equals 6 divided by 2 times a, minus 6 over 2, this is minus 3. So as you see, we have just one solution. We expected this before because delta equals to 0. When delta equals to 0, then it is one solution, just one solution. So here we have all examples, two examples, two when you have delta positive, then two solutions. If delta equals to zero, then one solution. And when we have delta is less than zero, it is no solutions. Well, I solved so many problems in this video, and now it is your turn to test your understanding. I want you to solve these 6 problems by using formula. Again, don't forget, first, make sure that the quadratic equation has been written in the general form, the right hand side equal to 0. Start identifying A, B, and C, and pay attention for the sign of the numbers. Here B, it is -5, not 5. Here C is -4. And finally, you can expect the value of how many solutions that you have depends on the value of delta. This is all for this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, please stay home, stay safe, take care of yourself and your family. في أمان الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.